All right. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for coming back and joining our weekly vendor update call for the Innovation Showcase. Lots of good stuff, lots of moving pieces going on right now, really coming together really for March. So as you guys joined the call today, you were muted. If you have any questions throughout this call, again, this call is for you guys, so feel free to unmute yourself. You can do so by hitting *6 on your phone, or you can use the Q&A or the Q&A button in the bottom right-hand corner of your WebEx screen. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started. We got a whole host of folks on the call today, along with some AWG folks, to hopefully get some answers to any of the questions you guys may have today. So the first thing I always go into is showcase organization. It's more of a reminder. Hopefully everyone understands this by now. Vendor registration, obviously we're past that, but the thing to call out there is, again, that annual showcase at awginc.com email address. If you have any questions whatsoever about the showcase and you're not sure where to go, that is the great place to start. So be sure to keep that email address handy. Again, Center Store, Compete Magazines, Culinary Stage, we are all into all of these areas now. So hopefully we're having those conversations with your lane leaders. If you're in the culinary stage, you're working with Michael and his team and so on. Food, that's come up a couple of times in our last calls. If you have any questions about what to bring, how much to bring, how does it need to package, all that good stuff, that'll be Jenny. The second thing to call out there is the mobile app. I've had a few questions about the mobile app. Good to know. I'm running with that lane, so feel free to email me at any time if you have any questions there, or how to use it and all that good stuff. At a later time in February, we will be going through that app more and more details of how to use it, especially that contact exchange, just so we're all aware of how that process is going to work during the show. And then the last one there, workshops, learning lounge. I know Kate is doing a great job on this this year and kind of aligning what that is going to look like. Lots of communication going back and forth, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. So just FYI, registration process, that has been closed. So if you go to that link that's been out there before, it won't even work. We shut this down last week. I'm no longer going to talk about this going forward because all the vendors that are in the show are in the show. We're not allowing anyone else in at this point. Learning Lounge, educational workshops. So again, last week we talked about logos need to be uploaded to your Box account, mainly because those logos are going to be used all over the place on the site, the website, possibly inside the show somewhere. So it's very important to have that in your Box account. If you haven't done it, get that done this week. Confirmation emails about the Learning Lounge, those have all gone out. You should have received them, and we're looking for some information back about those Learning Lounge sessions, bios, and all that good stuff. So fill that out, get it returned. There's a recording approval link in there also. I put a link on here just in case that email got lost. So it's there. It's just a simple form just to say, hey, yes, I give AWG permission to record this and post it out to a website. So that content was due on January 18th. That was on yesterday, Wednesday. So hopefully everyone got that in. If you're late to the party on that, I'm sure Kate will be calling that out at some point, but you definitely want to get all that content in. Final presentations are due on March 8th, and that is what you are actually going to be presenting inside these Learning Lounge educational workshops in PDF form. So that gives us a little bit more time to massage those as we get closer to the workshops and the educational sessions, but it gives you some time there. Kate, if you're on the phone, is there anything that you would like to add from a Learning Lounge educational workshop?
Yeah, hey Jason, and hi everybody. You covered most of it, but you said exactly all the content was due yesterday. There are multiple sessions that we have not gotten that final content. So a few of you have reached out and said, hey, I need until the end of today. That's fine. But certainly if you have not responded at all, please make sure to get that to us. We are trying to finalize that so we can get retailers excited about your sessions. I just want to share. We have multiple retailers reaching out to ask what the sessions are and who's presenting. So they're already wanting that information. So please help us out and get all that content in.
Thank you, Kate. And again, we're early on this year, earlier than we've ever been, mainly so we can get those schedules out there and posted, because we do have members, as Kate pointed out, asking, what is this show going to look like? Do I need to bring other folks from my team? Do I need to pull in some store managers? So those questions are being formulated inside of their organization. So we want to get that out there as soon as possible. We did have one question come through. What if we have not received an email about the Learning Lounge workshops?
Yeah, if you haven't received an email at this point, you either we didn't get your original submission or a request for presentation or somehow you got missed. So if you want to email the annual showcase email address, whoever that is that's asking that question, we can check and make sure we've got either the right contact information if you are slotted, or if you're not, then we'll figure out what happened there.
Thank you, Kate. On. So that email you would have got, this is kind of snippets of what was in that email. Well, I'm sorry. This is all about the educational sessions in the Learning Lounge. Each presenter, when you come in, so this is kind of setting the expectation of what that's going to look like when you come in. You're going to bring your own computer with your presentation loaded. We will have text there to help you out inside those rooms on Monday from noon to 1:45 so you can test that connectivity. But we're also going to have them available during your actual session. So you're in there setting up. If you have any issues, you'll have some help. Rooms are equipped with the stage, the screen, all the AV hookups that you possibly would need. Clickers, microphones, and 2 types of microphones, over the ear and a handheld. So you have some options there. You'll also have an AWG host meet with you 15 minutes prior to your presentation, whether that be in the Learning Lounge or educational workshops. And really their job is to make sure that you've got everything you need to be successful in your presentation, along with introducing you for that presentation. So that AWG host will do your bio. That's why those bios are very important in getting it to us. That's kind of what to expect there. Did have a question come through. If I want to change the title of my session, can I send an update? Yes, you can. Larry, go ahead and just send that to annualshowcase@awginc.com.
Larry, it actually would be great if you'd send it to whoever requested your information to start with. So it was probably either me or Anne Marie. I'm not sure which group you're with, but just respond to the original email that you sent in your name, and then we'll get that changed.
I can do that. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. All right, culinary stage. So we were going to have some more updates on this. Michael, are you on the line today?
Michael may not be, but I'm on. We've got a culinary call to schedule today with our presenters. So we'll have a 1 o'clock call where we will provide them the lineup, the schedule, explain what the flow will be, explain equipment, the prep kitchen, smallwares, etc. So we will be having an individual call with them today at 1, and then we'll likely have touch base calls with them just because questions for setup, product, etc. We don't want to tie up the entire team for it.
Very good. Thank you, David. Showcase layout. So this is kind of the number one question in probably everyone's mind right now is, what is that booth going to look like for me? And do I get a 10 by 10, 10 by 20, 20 by 20, 25 by 25? What is that going to look like? So we are working through that. I've seen the first draft of that come through. We are working with the convention center on that and making sure that we can get some thumbs up on that side of things, that what we were planning to do is good with them also. So there's a lot of back and forth going on. Wendy, is there anything you would like to call out on the layout side of things?
No, I don't think so, not at this time. Kind of what Jason said, we've done everything we could to accommodate your booth requests, and we're just waiting for OPCC and Fern to kind of bless our layout. So more to come on that. As soon as we have it, we will make sure you guys have your information.
All right, very good. Thank you, Wendy. Exhibitor forms. So as promised, we wanted to give this to you guys this week. So there is a link here. If you click on that link, I'll go ahead and show you what's going to bring that up for you. Let's see here. So lots of good information in here. OPC exhibitor packet, it's just that. It's an exhibitor packet where you can order your electrical and that sort of thing. The one thing to call out in this one is, if the question is, okay, what's the site to do that at? It's right here. So on page 2 of that, this is where you're going to click on to start ordering those services that you want from the convention center. The rest of it is just lots of guidelines around that. So good content here. Special orders. Same thing. If there's anything special you want to bring in, it's another form with lots of contact information on these. Sample request, very similar to the form that we used last year, just with a different logo at the top and probably some contacts at the bottom. So if you need any samples to show up at the showcase, go ahead and fill this out and get this emailed into the folks at the bottom here. And then you
Jason,
got
is that for samples out of your DCs versus us sending our own samples?
Yes, I would say yes to that. Wendy, do you want to talk into that?
Yes, so the example that's on the screen currently is for samples that will be for items that are currently slotted in the Kansas City warehouse. And then there's a special request form that is for product that you'll be shipping to the Kansas City warehouse that will be transferred from Kansas City to the Overland Park Convention Center. So 2 separate forms. The special order vendor letter is kind of all the requirements that the Kansas City warehouse requires for you shipping product that they're going to transfer for you. And then the other one again is product that is slotted in the Kansas City warehouse.
Got it. Thank you.
You bet.
And the last form that's posted out there is from Fern. So this is your complimentary furnishing request. So if you want a chair inside your booth, this stuff just doesn't show up just because you have a booth there. You've got to request it. If just fill this out and whatever you want inside your booth. If you want a table, you want a chair, fill this out, and there's an email down below of where to get that to. Pretty simple, straightforward. We've done this in previous years.
Jason, one more time, please. Where is that equipment request located?
Equipment request? Was that the question?
Yeah, what you were just showing.
So that wasn't equipment, that was products, so samples, that kind of stuff.
Now, I was looking for the table and chairs and electrical.
So the electrical, all of that is ordered through Fern. The complimentary tables and chairs is on the complimentary furnishings form. And then you've got a link to the Overland Park Convention Center, and that's where you're going to order your additional electrical, water, ice, those kind of things.
Okay, thank you.
And good lead in, talking about equipment now. So again, each vendor, very similar to previous years, you need to secure your own cases, your own equipment. We are working with internal teams to find out what kind of spares we do have, but we're not guaranteeing anything from the equipment perspective. Graphic design request, a thing to hide out. If you need AWG to do any print for you, there's a request form on the right-hand side there. Just click on that and just fill it out. Let us know. The deadline for that is February 17th, so it's about 4 weeks away. Just so something to be aware of. I'll remind you guys on a weekly basis. But if you need something from AWG, fill out that form. We can get that printed for and have it delivered at the show for you. FAQs, same thing. We got an FAQ document out there. Click on the blue icon over there. It'll bring it up for you. We'll kind of keep track of all these questions, kind of help us out going into next year and helps you guys out this year. If you have a question, this is a great place to start. And then timelines, next step. So attendee registration is open right now. That attendee registration really needs to be done by January 20th. Otherwise, there's going to be an additional $100 fee for late registrars. So January 20th is tomorrow. So if you haven't done that yet, if you haven't jumped on there and registered folks for the show, please do so this week. Again, we talked about Learning Lounge workshop content due on January 18th. Again, I'm going to reemphasize that if you have not done that, if you haven't got the emails, you haven't returned the emails from that perspective for these Learning Lounge and workshops, got to get it done this week. There's a lot of planning going on that. And again, we want to release this information out to our members.
Good morning when I walked in, I don't know if you heard me. Yeah, a long time ago. Ah, okay, I'll remember that for the future.
Was there a question, Courtney? Was there a question for me? All right, Courtney, there you go. Okay. And then on January 27th, again, that's our date to release this final schedule posted. So we're trying to hold true to that date, which is why we want to get all this information in from the Learning Lounge, workshops, culinary stage, so everyone knows what's going on well before the showcase in March. February 3rd, all sponsorship collateral, and then design requests. Obviously, we pointed that out on the 17th. And then March 8th, that Learning Lounge workshop, again, your final presentations due. A lot of this stuff we've already talked about through this presentation today. And then hopefully on March 20th, we're all ready to go for a good, successful show. I'm going to look at some questions here. Confirming these sponsorship forms. Box folder. These sponsorship forms should be in our box folders already. No, so these sponsorship forms that we're talking about, I'm assuming you're talking about these vendor sponsorship forms. When you get this deck is a link on your calendar invite. It's the same one we use every week. And if you go to this form and if you hold down your control key and I believe the Apple key on your Mac device, it's going to open up a site here from Box, and it's going to list those out for you. That's how you also get to that exhibitor packet. So that link becomes very important when you want to access these documents. It's the only place they're found. So we're not, it's one spot, so we don't have multiple versions out there floating around. Where can we access this presentation? Again, it's on the calendar invite. If it's not there, let me know, email me. When you say the cases will not be provided, does that mean coolers too? Can someone speak into that?
Yes, that's correct. Cases, coolers, any kind of equipment that we would have provided in the past. Vendors need to source their own equipment because we've got minimal access to cases and coolers.
And yes, Larry, I would agree. His question was, it appears I can't order services of tables and chairs until I have a booth number is known. I would agree with that because that's one of the questions on that form. So you can't quite do that yet until you have a booth number, but Wendy and I are working on that. We're going to get that to you as soon as we can.
Got it. Thank you.
Are you using last year's layout as a guide? We are likely to get the same booth size as last year's show. So sure who that is or what company you're from, so it's hard to answer that question. Not necessarily using it as a guide. You know, we've got our show floor that we can move things around on. We are moving things around this year. Like the culinary stage, it's probably not going to be on that main floor. It's going to be kind of outside the show a little bit where the AWG brands was last year. Just kind of give you a little hint into that showcase. So kind of opens up that space inside the showcase a little bit more. But again, you'll know more as soon as we can get through this layout. Again, that's why we cut off all the vendors from signing up so that we have our list of vendors of who we need to accommodate and looking at each vendor and accommodating them the best we can. So more to come there. We email a copy of the presentation. Again, it's stuff. I think that's what I'll do. So this group, after this presentation, I'll just go ahead and email you a link, this presentation, so everyone has it. It's supposed to be attached to the calendar invite, but I'll go ahead and just email it out to everyone, so everyone that I know will have it. Is there a standard booth to plan for display? Wendy, do you want to take that one?
So you should have had conversations with your department leads on what your requested or proposed booth sizes are. Obviously, the Diamond and Platinum sponsors are the main focus of the custom size booths. And then based on show floor space, we try to accommodate the gold and then silver sponsors from there. So I would say, is there a standard booth size? That kind of depends on your vendor sponsorship level. And then 2 conversations that you would have had with your department leads. So I know that that's really vague, but again, I don't know what your sponsorship level is or what your department is at this point. So it kind of varies based on that. If you'd like to email the annual showcase, we can probably talk a little bit further. But again, there should have been conversations had with your department leads already about your booths.
All right, thank you, Wendy. Well, it looks like I answered all the questions that have come through the website. Any other questions? I'll kind of open it up to the group as we kind of start closing down today. If you have any questions at all, go ahead and ask them now.
Jason, I just wanted to confirm, it doesn't look like there's a fee per person that you register to attend the show. Is that correct?
That's correct. So your sponsorship handles that, and
Got
just
it.
as long as you register your folks that are coming, you're good to go. There's not a fee per person.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Anything else, guys?
Yep, one last thing for me, Larry Wilson here. For clarity, I apologize, I had a barking dog when you were saying this. You're going to email out this presentation with active links, correct?
That's correct. Yeah. So I'll email out this presentation today, and it's going to have all the links that you possibly need in there, hopefully.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Jason, a quick question on your on the question on the fee for registration. Does that mean that you only get the number of people that you got with the booth, or can you go over that amount and not have a charge?
So I don't think there's a number per se. You know, obviously you don't want 20 people in a 10 by 10 booth, which wouldn't make a lot of sense. Wendy, how are you doing that on the registration side of things with folks inside the booths?
So attendee registration is open. We haven't capped that by sponsorship. However, what's being accommodated for dinners is based on what is included in your sponsorship. So if you're a diamond sponsor, obviously you have more spaces for dinner than you do a silver sponsor. And that's shared out. That was originally shared with your sponsorship levels when you signed up for that. So attendee registration open, but for dinners, there is an allocation per sponsor.
Very good. Did I answer your question there?
Yes, that's perfect. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Good questions, guys. All right. Very good. 5 minutes to spare. So I'll see you guys next week. Everyone have a great day and a great weekend coming up. Stay warm out there.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.